Wanted to ask everyone, before we could give our summary on restorative discussions, I would like to ask you given what we've discussed on affinity groups, what is your view on HBCUs? I know we kind of tackled it a little bit, but I want to kind of ask, are you thinking of attending one? Why or why not? And if Marlon, if you can go to the next slide, please.
I think that HBCUs are definitely a very important thing to have in our society, and I think like how we have affinity groups and PWIs are just spaces for POC to just kind of be who they are and like kind of embrace their culture with people who look like them. And in my college process, I did not apply to any HBCUs. I think the biggest thing was just like the financial aid that comes with HBCUs, because like one of my goals for college is to like kind of graduate like debt free. I know that it is definitely possible like when you are attending an HBCU, but I just simply did not apply to any. But I think that they're definitely like, amazing places for people to go to kind of just be connected with people who look like them, and for to feel like they have like a better community for themselves.
Yeah, I would definitely echo all of what Uche said. HBCUs are great places for Black people who would like to be surrounded by other Black people and Black culture. But similar to Uche, during my college process, initially I was looking at a few HBCUs, but ultimately did not apply to any due to financial reasons. Similar to Uche, I want to graduate debt-free and pay the least amount of money possible for the cost of attendance, and there's just a lot more of a stark gap between the amount of financial aid that a lot of HBCUs provide versus predominantly white institutions. So ultimately, I did not apply to any HBCUs for that reason.
Well, financial aid definitely is a big factor for me as well. What really drew me away from applying from HBCUs was actually like my experience going to PWIs. I thought it would be like too much of a culture shock for me to really grasp in a short period of time, just because I've been acclimated to these white spaces for pretty much my entire life. But I ended up applying to a couple of HBCUs because I do love the culture. Every time I see videos, every time I, hear from my family members down south who've attended HBCUs, it just puts a smile on my face, and I love the community, and again, I love the culture, so that's why I chose to apply.
Marlon, I would love to hear from you. When you were applying for schools, was it something that you ever considered, of course, given the Nigerian kind of context?
Actually, not really, because I didn't even know about any HBCUs, and I had a Nigerian father, and and my Nigerian father told me that how did he put it? He said you can go anywhere you like, but I am paying for engineering at Iowa State University, but you can go anywhere you want to go. So that's how much choice I had in what I was going to do. But, I am just big at this point for providing spaces where we can feel like the majority. There's a certain level of arrogance that I like to talk with. I like to show, like, this is how I make I give them the microaggression. They're like, whoa, what happened? Yeah, you just got, this is how we talk in Africa, my brother. You don't understand. I talk to them and I put them in their place, because I know I work harder than you, and I know that there's nothing that you're bringing to the table that is anything really to even sneeze at. There's nothing there, right? And because of some sort of like complex, that how dare you have the audacity to look at me and put me into any box when I write books and I will go in circles around you, won't even know what hit you, right? And that's the kind of arrogance that you need to succeed. Because let me tell you what, a lot of people like me that work hard, they work harder than me, they're stronger than me, they have the most intelligence than me, they have the most resources, and somehow they didn't make it. So sometimes it's just luck of the draw. It's not even that you did anything. So don't come here and start looking at me as if I'm any kind of thing different from you. I'm a human being. Don't box me into anything. So, you know, I definitely put it in their faces. I like them to see, oh, wow. And I also like my black brothers in America to see it, because you have to be from a community full of legends. And I'm telling you, I come from a community full of Nigerian legends, people that started the whole country by themselves. Nobody had to tell them anything. We're talking about millionaires in dollars and pounds, as we like to say. You know, so the bottom line is that you have to see that we are still kings and queens, you know, that today. And how is that going to happen? That means you have to get used to being amongst yourself, having that network that's looking out for you and doing the other thing. I think Tonya said in one of the comments that the HBCU is one of the great, that she gets more network. Of course you get more network. That's how it's done. It happens everywhere in the world. It's nothing special. If you're a Yoruba person and you know another Yoruba person is there. It's not that I'm being biased, but look at my students. They're mostly Nigerian, right? And I have Afrimerican, and I'm also African American. Oops! Oh my goodness! It's because I know African Americans and I know Nigerians. That's why. Oops! My students happen to be that way, and you guys will get that networking because I know you and I just identify with you because you guys remind me of my sisters and my aunties. And look at the auntie Nkiru that I met 2 years ago. It looks as if all of you are even from the same tree. She's from an older tree, but I'm from the oldest Baba tree. Don't mind me. I'm from my own tree doesn't even have branches again. It's just one of those huge trees in the corner that doesn't have any branches, but it's been there for 300 years. Anyway, the point is that, guys, that these HBCU, I think we do need villages. How do we operate as communities? How do we hunt as a pack, right? Because that's part of it. It's like we're not supposed to be individuals. We're supposed to be hunting in packs, meaning we have, Topaz the banker, Uche is the architect, Miracle's the lawyer. And anytime I need those services, this is my network, this is my pack, this is my tribe. These are the people that go and ride or die for me, right? And if they, you guys need any kind of recommendation, Mr. Solomon, because that's my ride or die. It's going to give me the recommendation of the year, right? So that is what we need, and that's why I think the importance and to increase access to these HBCUs is very, very critical. It's not just about becoming successful individually. It's about knowing how to operate in groups, in packs, and organize 500 people moving in the same direction. Imagine the power.
I had already gone to kindergarten at an all-black school where everybody looked exactly like me, my teacher and all of the other kids and all of the other teachers and principal. So I was accustomed to school. I knew pretty much what to expect, I thought. But I remember these 4 very tall white men knocking on the door and saying, "We're here to escort you and your daughter to school today." That indeed did not happen on my way to kindergarten. They were raising their hands. Some of them were holding signs up, but it looked exactly like Mardi Gras. I really thought that we had stumbled into a Mardi Gras parade that day. So the innocence of a child, that's really what protected me that day. Mrs. Henry was the only teacher that would teach me. I mean, I didn't know what to expect from her. She looked exactly like the mob outside. She was an amazing teacher, and I knew she cared about me. And so the real lesson that I took away in first grade in that classroom is that it's the same lesson Dr. King tried to teach us. You can't judge a person by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. That lesson has shaped me into the person that I am today. You can't tell the story of history just by leaving out certain things that you don't want them to know or see. You can't do that. You can't tell part of the truth. You have to tell the whole truth. You have to show it to them so that they do understand. And that is our responsibility. I've seen hope in the eyes of our children for 25 years. Hope that most people haven't seen. But I get a chance to see it every day in every school across this country. So I just think there's so many opportunities to change now, to do better, and to do better by our young people. And so what I would say to kids today is that's exactly what we see playing out before us. It may have taken 60 years for this to resurrect all over again, but the young people have taken to the streets. I do believe that it's a new generation. What we did back in 1960 moved us to this point.
That was really powerful. So, since we have three of you, let's see how we can answer this question. So, in order to honor the legacy of Ruby Bridges, we must build a Black community at PWIs by. Who wants to take that one?
I can take that one. And I think that we can build a Black community at PWIs by kind of spreading more awareness of these institutions to people of color in different areas. But also, like, when you're doing that, to also establish stronger affinity groups and making sure that the school is educating students on, like, these microaggressions and, like, the ignorance that they have because, like, they're not aware of, like, different perspectives, so that people, like Black people and, like, other POC can feel more safe in these communities.
Thank you, Uche. What about the next question? How can we repair harm done at PWIs to students of color?
We can repair harm done at PWIs to students of color by continuing to create and provide safe spaces such as affinity groups for Black students, and also listening to Black voices when they voice their concerns or the ways in which their school can better support their Black students, as well as being transparent and strict about consequences for non-Black students whose actions may affect and cause harm to Black students.
And finally, how do we promote inclusivity at PWIs?
We can promote inclusivity at PWIs by expanding curriculum to be more diverse, by asking students' opinions on how to approach class discussion in curriculum, and by inviting frequent, honest discussions wherein students can speak on their marginalized identities and how they affect their student experience.
You go, girl. Like, I'm so proud of you guys. I mean, you know, when we sat back and we were thinking about doing this, that's exactly what we're talking about, nurturing the culture to thrive. You guys, like, it's about a thought process, an ideology, the way you carry yourself, the way you code switch, you know, the whole thing. It all matters, and you guys are just doing a great job. I'm so proud of you guys for what you guys put this together. Work together, and still, you know, and still just really, like, showed what I'm dreaming of is to show how great through you guys, if people think about it, how great we can be, you know. Well done.
Okay, so our panelists, if you guys have, like, a final word to the viewers and to those who will listen to this afterwards.
I guess I would just say thank you for listening to our experience at PWIs and just taking the time to kind of learn, like, what changes can be made in these spaces. And I hope that you can kind of take away just, like, how these spaces can improve. And yeah.
Similar to Uche, thank you for listening to our presentation, chronicling our experiences at our PWIs. I invite you to continue doing your own research, not only about students' experience at PWIs, but about our own communities and the issues within them.
Yeah, thank you all for taking 2 hours out of your time to listen to us and be open and honest and vulnerable and share your own experiences. Like Miracle said, continue to do research and sort of expand your knowledge on this issue in the ways in which we can make progress and support Black students at these PWIs.
Thank you so much, everyone. This is Conversations from the Diaspora, Building Africa's Future podcast. And until next time, be well.